Okay. Hi, everybody. It's good that you guys are on here. I don't see any faces, unfortunately, but it's still good that you're on here and are taking the opportunity to learn from Cherif. Cherif is a very experienced real estate investor, educator, and I first saw him on Shane's first conference, actually, and then I saw him again at Yamu's conference. So he's probably one of the most effective speakers I've met. Like he just jumps right into it, teaches very valuable things. So definitely take notes, participate, ask questions. Before we get started, I'm going to share my screen really quick for everybody to sign up. Please make sure. Ooh, oh my God, how do I move this? Hold on. Here you go. Please make sure everybody scan this QR code so you can join Epic Hire, which is our new platform that we're trying to use to track attendance, to see RCPs. And this will give us the opportunity to share all the information, access materials that we're going to be given today to you. So only if you RSVP and scan this QR code and sign up, you will be able to get the access. So it's very important you do that. I will also share that in the chat. So if anybody comes in afterwards, we'll have this access as well. And I don't want to take any more time of Cherif, and I really appreciate you doing this for us today. He's live from California, everybody. So I appreciate you, and we're really looking forward to hear from you today. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Hannah, for this nice introduction. So I hope you see me. You can maybe make the screen bigger so you can see me better. So my name is Cherif Medawar. I have been investing in real estate practically all my life. When I left college or university, if you will, I started in the hotel business, and I was working for very wealthy, very high luxury hotels, and all these high net worth people to come and stay. I said, well, how are they affording to stay here? And they were all in real estate mostly. And that's what got me into real estate. One of the hotel guests was a very wealthy man who asked me to work for him. And it's because he saw that I was working around the clock. So my goal was to become a hotel general manager and learn the hotel business, etc. I realized that there is a lot more money to own hotels and to get into real estate. So I'm going to show you a strategy. You all here are students. You're going to the university. You want to make money when you come out. You can get a job with a big company and you will have good salary and good benefits. But what you do on the side, like I did, I went into the hotel business, started to do some work on the side. That's what actually launched me into financial freedom, and eventually left the hotel business and became owner of hotels. And you could see the inventory of properties I own. I have close to 100 million of properties. You can see that at crepr.com, commercialrealestatepuertorico.com. I chose Puerto Rico as part of the United States. It's next to where the cruise ships arrive. And it's a very unique area, historic building, mixed use, meaning downstairs commercial, upstairs residential, and some single tenant. So I'm going to give you a strategy that you can actually understand what's in it for you. And if you want to join me and get a full training, I'll give you a discount from anybody else out there that is actually joining me for years and learning how I do things. I also have a YouTube channel that has over 3,000 videos that I train people and show them what's available. But really, if you want to do things, you're going to have some coaching and training, whether with me or someone else. So let me share with you this strategy. I want you to imagine you're driving down the street. So imagine the street has two-way traffic, cars going this direction and this direction. And you see what's called a standalone building. That means it's a building that is standing by itself. It has no other properties next door. Usually it has a drive-through. It's like an old Jack in the Box, or it's an old Starbucks that's sitting vacant. And when the property sits vacant and does not bring income from a big tenant, a big renter company that rents, it can sell at a discount. And let's say they want to sell it at $700,000. And that's a lot of money. And you call the broker and you say, I'm interested in this building, but since it's vacant, I just will offer you $600,000. So they will give you a contract that says $600,000. So now you have the property under contract to buy it for $600,000. Assuming that's just very simple right now. Vacant building, big traffic going on here. good neighboring tenants. And what's happening is you made an offer at 600. You usually have about 60 days, let's even say 45 days to do the inspections on the property. This is called the due diligence. So you got a property under contract, you have 45 days to do due diligence. That means inspect the property, and an additional 15 days to close. Let's say that's what you do. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna start looking for tenants that can occupy this. That means big companies that wanna come in and lease that space. You're gonna see the neighboring tenants, so you see Jamba Juice, you see Burger King, you see a McDonald's, you see Starbucks across the street, a gas station, and you're gonna see who is missing. And you start calling these tenants. You can literally Google them. You can call, like, let's say you think of Panda Express. You can Google Panda Express and you're gonna find their corporate phone number. And you call them and you say, hi. I say, hi, my name is Cherif Medawar and I'm interested in I tell them, and I have a property you may be interested in at, let's say, 123 El Camino Real. This property is located in front of a street that has 30,000 cars per day. How do you get the traffic? How do you know the numbers? You're gonna get there from the broker that listed the property. They send you the traffic, they send you the size of the property, etc. You can tell them it's a 2,000 square feet. You're gonna leave them usually a voicemail message. So it's gonna go like this. Hi, my name is Cherif Medawar. I'm calling you regarding a property I have at 123 El Camino Real. It's a standalone building. It has a drive-through. You can put your company here. It has 30,000 cars per day. The neighboring tenants are Starbucks. There is McDonald's. There's across the street. There is Jamba Juice. There is gas station, etc. And if you're interested, please call me back. I can give you more details so you can rent it for 10 to 15 years for your company. And you can keep calling these. There are 4,500 national tenants that constantly grow, from Subway to Jack in the Box to Burger King to In-N-Out Burger to, it's just crazy what's going on. Why? That business model is based on growing. And that's how they expand and they make even more money. So when you put it under contract and you start smiling and dialing and you leave messages, you can also prepare a video of the place, you standing in front of the place and saying, hi, my name is Cherif, here's the building behind me, this is the traffic, look at the neighboring tenant, and you take a video inside or take some pictures and you send it, because when you get their phone number for these companies, you also get their email address, and you can send the video link or that you post on YouTube, or you can send some pictures. All you're waiting for is one tenant to call you back. When that tenant calls and says, yeah, we're interested to expand in that location, they're gonna wanna ask you a few questions. How much rent do you want? And let's say you say, well, we want 8,300 rent per month. 8,333 times 12 months, that means you want 100,000 rent per year. If they wanna pay you that, and if they like and they feel they're gonna make money here, and usually these tenants make a lot of money selling their burgers, selling their sandwiches, etc. They need locations like this, especially with the drive-through. They say, okay, we're gonna send you a letter of intent. It's called an LOI. So the big tenant, let's say Subway, says we're interested. They send you a letter of intent that says the name of the tenant is Subway. We want to lease for 10 years. These companies want to lease for 10 to 15 years. They come in, they remodel the place, etc. And then they're gonna say, we're gonna pay you 100,000 a year plus 3% increase every year. It's called an escalation of rent because to meet inflation. And they're gonna give us a triple net lease, meaning they pay not only the lease, listen to this, they pay the lease and they pay the property tax and the property insurance and they maintain the property. So you as an owner will have no expenses. I know what you're thinking now, but Cherif, I don't have 700,000. Wait, just give me a chance to explain. All right. So now you found the property, you put it under contract. You found the tenant by calling them. You have 45 days to make the calls, and you actually told them what you want, and they said, okay. And they send a letter of intent to pay 100,000 a year for 10 years with escalation, with increases. They're gonna pay triple net, and they also give us what's called the corporate guarantee. That means that publicly traded company like Subway has 36,000 locations worldwide. So they give a corporate guarantee. They say, we guarantee that payment by our entire corporation. That's very strong. And that immediately makes the property worth a lot more. It makes it worth whatever they're gonna pay per year times 16. That's what the formula is. So the property will be worth 1,600,000. Well, you have it under contract at 600,000 because it was vacant. You have a tenant coming in, it's now worth 1,600,000. So if you have asked yourself, how can a normal person become a millionaire? This is one of many strategies for a normal person to start and become a millionaire. This is how I, who was working in the hotel business and was working my heart out that was many, many years ago, I was making 45,000 a year with some benefits, of course. And then I went out there in year one, I made $1 million and the rest became history. I bought more buildings. I gave you my website, CREPR. I have 100 million in real estate. Then it became easier for me. So I started saying, I want to help others. I want to train others to do business. So I started telling people, and I get very excited when young people want to get in. My son is turning 18. That's what he wants to do. He's studying in the university real estate. He's studying in the university business. My daughter's studying entrepreneurship because she wants to get a building and she wants to put her own business in it. So if it's not related to real estate, they don't know how they're going to make money. You cannot save your way to millions, but you can make a transaction or two or three and become a millionaire. Now, so what are the obstacles? What if you call people for 45 days, all these companies, nobody return your call? You're under no obligation to buy. You can actually cancel your deal and walk away without any purchase. If you put some deposit, because when you make an offer, you have to use an intermediary company. It's called an escrow. The escrow is a company between the buyer and sellers that holds the money. So you're the buyer, you put, let's say, 5,000 and say, I'm going to buy it later. You have 45 days. If you don't line up a tenant within the 45 days, 44 days later, you can actually say, I don't need it. It does not fit my criteria. I'm going to walk away. They refund you the 5,000. So the key thing here is to understand there is no downside. You either line up a tenant and get it with the upside or you don't. So now how do you do it when you're a student? How do other people do it when I train them and they don't have the money? They don't have the 600,000 or 700,000 or 800,000 or $1 million or 400 even. All right. So this is what I do. I bring people, I train them. I charge people $10,000. I personally spend the time training them. And what I show them is, I'm going to show you how to identify the right properties. There are 15 criteria to look for. I'll give you some of the criteria. It has to be a property on a busy street. Minimum traffic, 25,000. It has to have good neighboring tenants. It has to be a single tenant. It has to be vacant. It has to have a drive-through. And there are 15 criteria. So once you study that in my training, you come live and I train you, you're going to see it. You're going to know that's the one I want. You put it under contract. I also give you what's called proof of funds. So the people that get trained, I give them proof of funds. So I have a real estate company and I have millions of dollars sitting in the bank to do these deals. So when you call and say, my name is Jessica, or my name is Nancy, or my name is Joe, and I'm calling you on this property to the broker is going to say, how are you going to buy it? You can show proof of funds. I'll send you, you all will have access to, those who get trained with me will have access to send the broker here. I have proof of funds that is over $1 million sitting cash in the bank account. We need to put it under contract for 45 days. We're going to close within 15 days later, all cash. And they can see that the cash is sitting in the bank account. So now you have the credibility, you have the training, you're going to get the right property under contract. So you're going to ask me, Cherif, how will I know who to contact? I have a list of 4,500 national tenants with their phone number, who to talk to, what size place they want, who they like to be next to. And within minutes, you put that, you know, okay, I got to call these 30 tenants, these 30 national companies. You start smiling and dialing and you leave the voicemail message, the script that I will give you. I'll tell you how to talk to the brokers. I'll tell you how to leave the voicemail message. I even tell you how to make the video of the place. When you actually put it under contract, you tell the broker, I need to see it because you have the right to access it, to inspect it. You go in, you make a video, you send me the email with a little wording about what we're going to send these tenants. I review it, I tweak it for you. And now you have a video, you have an email, you call the actual tenants because you have the national tenant list that I'll give you. You leave them the message I tell you to leave. You send them the email because you'll have their email access as well from the list that I give you. And all you're hoping, all you're waiting for is one tenant to call you back or email you back. And when they email you back, they say, would like to talk about this location because we're expanding. And what they want is to get on a call. You forward that email to me. I set up a Zoom call and I go on the call. It will be you, it will be me, it will be the tenant and the representative or their leasing department. And what we do is we discuss the letter of intent. How many years they're gonna rent? Sometimes they want 15 years. How much is the rent amount? Okay, how much they're gonna pay. If they want what's called tenant improvement, like sometimes these big tenants say, I wanna come in, but I need you to give us 50,000 to change the kitchen. We're gonna change the floor or the ceiling. And I say, okay. So then what ends up happening is I say, okay, we're gonna give you so much. So let's say I'm gonna give them 100,000. I will be the one negotiating, I will be the one working it, and I have the cash to buy it. So now once they say yes, okay, on all this, I send them the letter of intent that they sign. And when they sign, we're doing it all within the 45 and 15 days and we close. Now the value jumped. It's very simple. Whatever we negotiated as a lease, the base lease payment, we go times 16. And as I told you, it's worth $1.6 million. We have it under contract at 600,000. Guess how much you make? It is $1 million upside for me when I buy it. But on that $1 million, I give you 10% of the upside increase in value. I repeat, we put it under contract at 600. We negotiated a $100,000 lease. That $100,000 lease on year one is going to be times 16, makes the property worth $1.6 million. Why? If I sell it the next day, people will pay my real estate fund, my company, $1.6 million. Why? Because they will pay $1.6 million and they will receive 100,000 a year. That means they will receive 6% return every year. You can do the calculations, about 6%. A lot of people buy buildings that have big tenants with a corporate guarantee, triple net, that make 6% a year. This is so powerful that you can actually look on loopnet.com. This is a company that sells commercial buildings. You will see vacant buildings, and now you're going to start thinking differently. You will see that the buildings that are occupied sell for a premium, sell for a big money. Why? Because a lot of people have money, they want to buy a McDonald's. They want a Starbucks that's going to be paying for 10 to 15 years. They don't have to worry about it. This money keeps getting deposited every single month by these renters, and the renters pay the property tax, the property insurance, the property maintenance. So these people love the return. We find them vacant, we put the package together, and then we make money. You can work with me to find the properties in Georgia. You work with me to line up the tenants, that I'll give you the list, I'll give you the training, and you assign it to me. You get 10% of the upside. Everybody got this? All right. So Cherif, I can't afford the $10,000 training. To do the training and get access to your tenant list, get access to what the training is, get access to meeting you in person, get access to be able to call the national tenants and get the list and get you on a call when we do the Zoom and the tenants are ready for you to negotiate it, Cherif, and for me to learn in practicality. I don't have $10,000. I'm going to give the students a 50% discount. Okay, we don't give it to anybody. You can check, you can see on YouTube, I have my videos, I have people lining up, but we limit it per area. And I'll tell you, we'll give you a whole training for $4,997. You will have the training with me. You'll fly to Los Angeles. I'm here in my home in LA, so you can see the home here. I mean, just you'll come here, literally sit at that table. And usually we get 4 or 5 people together, and some from different parts of the country, because by region we put so many. And also, if somebody can't make it, we have them live on Zoom when I'm doing the training. They can ask questions, but you leave understanding exactly how to do this and how to make it happen for you. And once you know it once, you know it for life. Nobody can take it away from you. At any time, even later in your life, you will be able to identify the opportunity of the buildings. You'll be able to understand exactly how to put these deals together and how the numbers work. So again, you find a single tenant building, you put it under contract using my proof of funds so they take you seriously. You tell the broker what I tell you to say. Once you put it under contract, you have the list of tenants. You first go and take a little video of the place. You will actually start smiling and dialing because you're going to send me that video. I'm going to bless it. I'm going to change the wording for the email. You're going to talk to the list of tenants that I give you. You're going to select who you want to put here based on the area. I train you for that. And then what you do is you Leave them a voicemail message, send them an email. Next day, you follow up and you send another email. And you follow up until within usually about 2 to 3 weeks, at least 1 or 2 reply back. And that's what we want, to get on a call with these people and say, okay, so you're interested, this is what we want. I'll negotiate the details. We usually record the Zoom, so you will learn exactly how it's done, and you will be able to have a copy of that conversation when we close the deal, before we close, through escrow, through the actual company that handles the money. When I send the $600,000 to buy the building, what ends up happening is that we know that the value goes 16 times whatever rent we negotiated that you see, and you are on the call with me, and you get 10% of the difference between the purchase price that was negotiated and the actual 16-time value of the rent. If the rent is 80,000, let's go times 16. If the rent is 60,000 a year, you do times 16, it will be worth $1 million. We got it under contract, 400, boom. The lowest assignment fee, the lowest marketing fee I have paid somebody doing this program is over $36,000. And what did they do? They found a property, followed the steps, made some phone calls, lined up the tenant for me, and I got on the call. So this is how we do it. I'm happy to answer some questions for anybody interested in this. And you can unmute yourself, ask the question, and I'll answer you. If no questions, I will kind of wrap it up.
I guess I have a question for you.
Yes.
What was your first deal like? You said you were working in a hotel, and that was my first question. And then how did you get started in Puerto Rico? I guess, like, what drew you over there?
So in the beginning, when I started doing the deals, I got a duplex, a 2-unit building. It was in Solana Beach, California. And that's in North County, San Diego. And I was working in a hotel. I had left the billionaire and went to work at the Del Mar Hilton. And I found a duplex that was for sale, and it was below market. So I went to talk to the owner. She was moving to Europe because she had a job relocation. She was all excited. And she said, look, my dad bought me this duplex. And I knew it was worth 380 to 400,000. But she said to me that she wants to sell quickly. And if I can buy quickly, she will give it to me at 300,000. 295, but I'm rounding the numbers. So I was so excited. I went to the bank. I took cash advance on my credit cards, and I actually put the small down payment because the bank said to me that they had a special program in that area. Anybody that works or lives in that zip code, they could give them a special loan. So I got the loan, I closed on the property, and I separated the units, the water meter, gas meter, electric meter, and then I sold them separately at $200-some thousand each. I ended up putting, really from my pocket, less than $1,500, and the rest was from credit cards. I made a few payments of interest, like maybe $3,500. So total thing cost me about $5,000. And when I got in and I split the units, I was able to sell them separately as condominium instead of a duplex, 2 units. And I walked away with $156,000 sitting in the bank. I thought at the time I can own the world. The next thing is when I realized, oh my God, I can find empty buildings and put tenants in them. And that's actually, when you look at CREPR, you're gonna see many of my buildings have Sunglass Hut downstairs. They have Burberry, they have Tommy Hilfiger, they have, I have many, Diamond International, Diamond Company that sells jewelry. I have Fat Tuesdays, etc. I get the buildings. When they're vacant, they don't sell at a good price. I take advantage of that. I put it under contract. I call the tenants until I find the right tenant, and then I buy. The value increases. And if I'm buying it with a loan, I refinance, cash out my money, do another deal, etc. And that's how people can grow, that people can become millionaires, people can put their own businesses in this. Once you know the strategy, you can change your life.
Okay, there's a question in the chat. It's, how does having your general contractor's license impact this when you have a company wanting renovations? Can you use this to sell your own business on top of these profits?
Oh my God, if you have a contractor license, if you study construction, first of all, AI cannot replace you. It's extremely powerful, and it's just one of the best things you can do for yourself. As a matter of fact, my son is studying now to be in the construction business. So he's working with one of my students who is a contractor. So they said, oh, why don't you work with us? So, okay, so he's working there and he is going to learn for 4 years. He's going to have to spend 4 years in the construction business to learn plumbing, electrical, roofing, etc. Then he can apply for the contractor's license, and the contractor can say, yes, this person worked for me. He's got experience in this and that. He passes an exam, becomes a contractor. What happens is now when you get a property under contract and they say, we're coming in, we need to rehab this and that, you controlling the deal, you can say, well, I'm the contractor. I'm the general contractor. I can bring the team. Oh, you want new flooring? I can put the new flooring. So you can even make money. Let's say the floor is going to cost 15,000. You can charge them 20. The painting is going to cost 4,000. You can charge 6. So you have the normal markup that a contractor does to make a deal happen. That's a great idea. Now, your business, you can put your own business. Like my daughter said, I want to find a vacant building, put a big tenant. If I like the location, I couldn't line up a tenant, I can get the franchise. That means she can get the approval from Subway to put the team here, to put their business here, and then she can get a manager, friends from her, she's going to university now, said, I can get friends of mine, they said they would love to work with me. I can create, like, she has this dream about the cupcake company that does this and that, Cookie Crumble, you know, she said, look how successful they are. So I support that. At least if she fails, she still has the building, she will list it and go to another location, get a franchise or a license agreement and grow from there. She wants to put healthy ice cream. She's into health and nutrition. Could be so many ideas, but you'll own the building. All right, what else?
Next question is from Brian. He asked, how can you do this with residential?
Residential, okay, so let me explain to you something. There is a world of real estate residential and the world of real estate commercial. Residential, if you're gonna make money with residential in the beginning, you want to find something below market to sell it at market. So the whole area is selling at, let's say, 300,000, and this person want to sell at 250. You want to put it under contract at 250 and see if you can wholesale it, like find somebody to give you, let's say, 260. So it's under contract, you assign the contract, somebody will come in, but that person is an investor, is gonna come in and he's gonna try to drive the deal lower or do other things because they have to rehab it and then sell. So in residential, you have to find something below market because how are you gonna make money? This is the comparable sale, this is what it's selling at, you can see it on Zillow, you can study how to find the numbers based on what's listed, and then somebody wanna sell below because they're distressed, they're dying, they're going through a divorce, they're going to relocate, there is some disaster going on either with the property or with the person selling, and that's how you're going to come in below market to sell at market. I did a couple of these like this when I started, but then I realized, you know what, I don't want to deal with that. It's just, I don't want to keep driving the people and the prices down. What I realized is I can give people almost what they're asking for in their investment property. They're living in their home. I don't want to kick anybody out. I don't want anybody their misery. I deal through brokers. I talk to people at more or less, even if I got it at 700, it's going to go to 1.6 million, even 1.2 million. There'll be a huge upside in a shorter period of time without hurting anybody. As a matter of fact, when I place a tenant, it helps the community, helps the company grow. They employ people. I make money. Everybody benefits. I look for the greater good. Can you make money with residential? Yes. But the residential doesn't jump up in value like this unless you rehab it. This, you can add value by just getting the right tenant in the right location, doing small things. Like I can buy an 8-unit apartment building next to the freeway, and I can put the upstairs some signage and advertisement brings more income. I can put maybe a vending machine. Commercial is more creative. That's what I specialized in, and that's how I became multi-millionaire, doing the deals over and over and over a lot faster and better.
Thank you so much. I got another question from Dan. He's asking, what is the process like for land?
So land, what we do is sometimes we have a land, we put the deal under contract, and we call tenants and we tell them, we can do a build to suit. Build to suit meaning if you want to build your single tenant building here, we can build it for you. For example, in North County, in Dallas, in a place called Flower Mount, Dallas. So in that place, a very nice place, we had a land, we put it under contract, and one of my students started calling, and McDonald's called back and said, yeah, we're very interested to build. So what we do is we do a land lease for them. That means we just lease the land. So we had the land under contract, and it was like 300,000, and McDonald's said, we want to come in and lease it from you for 50 years. That's a beautiful deal. We don't have to do anything. We just gave them the right to build. and then they build it, they lease it. 25 years later, by the way, the building becomes ours. So it's a beautiful strategy. There's another strategy with land, is we got the land, they call us, like Starbucks did one time, and said, here is how we would like you to build it for us. But we're gonna sign right now to give you a corporate guarantee that as soon as it's done like this, we will rent from you for 30 years. We're gonna do a 15-year lease plus 5% option, 5 and 5. So they had a 30-year lease. That, I take that and I go to the bank and say, I'm gonna hire a contractor to build this for Starbucks. And the bank will give me the credit line to build it. So yes, we can do from land and build, and makes us a lot of money, and then hold on to the deal or turn around and sell it.
Amazing. Another question. As an entrepreneur, what would you advise looking for in finding a building or a location? How to know if it's a good deal?
Well, that's what I teach, is 15 criteria. I give you the example. When you drive, you want two-way traffic. You want to stand alone. You want it vacant. You want to drive through. You want the right neighboring tenants. So all these pieces put together, you don't want a property in a quiet corner in a cul-de-sac. You don't want the property that's fallen apart and has no drive-through. It's not going to be attractive for the big tenants. So just like when you are driving tonight or tomorrow going to your university, or when you're going to go this weekend to have a party somewhere, start looking around. You're going to see these single tenant buildings available. You're going to say, oh my God, that's an opportunity. How much is this? That's an opportunity. And that's how you're going to see the opportunities. They're out there. And usually one of the best way to spot these locations is other good tenants are nearby. So you got the Burger King. If you ever notice, usually Burger King is right next to McDonald's. And maybe the next block, there is a vacant building. That's your opportunity right there, because already McDonald's and Burger King bring a lot of traffic for the area. So you put Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A will pay you top dollars to be there. Why? Because they already know there is traffic right there. That's the idea. But knowledge is one thing. Being able to do it, taking action, is a whole different story. And that's what I enable you, I empower you to put the pieces together through the training, so you have comprehension and understanding. And then also by giving you the proof of funds, so the brokers take you seriously, because a broker for commercial real estate is going to say, you're calling me, how are you going to buy it? You have a down payment? Yeah, show me proof of funds, proof of that you have the money. And you'll be able to show them my letter. You say, I work with this real estate company, Cherif Medawar, etc. What else?
Okay. Next question. How much money would a new investor need to start with if they have to save up?
Oh, well, if you're assigning to me, you have to put the deal under contract like $5,000 so they take you seriously. So that will be your money. First the 5,000 training, and then 5,000 that's refundable, because when you do the assignment, it comes back to you. If you walk away from the deal, it comes back to you. If you want to buy the building for yourself and keep it, you're going to need, on the actual money that you're going to pay, like the 600,000, you're going to need 20%. So if you put the deal under contract and you line up the tenant and you go to the bank and you say, Cherif, I'm not going to assign it to you, I just want the training. Fine. Many people, 40% of the people coming, they want to do the deal for themselves. I still help them. We get success stories. I have over 1,000 video success stories. I've been training people for 25 years. That means older than some of you on this call. But it's okay. And, you know, I love doing it. So what happens is you go to the bank and you say, I have this property under contract. Here's my contract. I can buy it at 600,000. The bank says, okay, but it's vacant. No, I have this tenant interested, and they send me this letter of intent. Now the bank says, yes, you want a loan? You're going to buy it for, you have the contract to buy it for 600. Let's say we're going to give you a loan for 400,000. Or we're going to give you a loan 480,000. You need to come up with 20% down. So it's going to be 20 to 30% down. It depends if you're on your credit, etc. In your case, you have a national tenant coming with a corporate guarantee. They'll ask you 20%. It means you have to come up with 120,000 plus closing. So 130,000, you'll close that deal. And that property, you would have bought it literally like this. You want to know how to become wealthy, or how I became wealthy? I'll show you something. So you got the property under contract at 600,000. When you lined up the tenant and you put the tenant in, now it's worth 1,600,000. So you have an increase in value. That's the number one way to make money. Now they are renting, and the 3% increase every year make the property go up in value. The bank is going to give you a loan you're going to have some debt, but every year the debt is keep getting paid down. The tenant is paying it down because you're making a payment. They're making you a payment. The renting is paying you, let's say, 8,300, and your payment to the bank is, let's say, 6,000. So you have 2,500 or so positive cash flow. So the property increases in value, the debt decreases, so you become wealthy. So number two is you just don't do anything, you just hold on to the property. You don't sell it. Let's say you don't want to sell it. And then the lease is, let's say, 10 years. 6 months before the lease expires, the tenant's supposed to call you and say they're going to renew or they're going to leave. Now, every year that 100,000 a year that they paid on year one, on year two, there is 3% increase. So it becomes 103,000. The year after that, it's 106, like 180, like it compounds on itself, keeps going up. So 3 times 9 is 27. So it's like, so many years later, it's like they're paying you like almost 130,000, give or take. And now they're going to tell you, I want to renew or I want to leave. And inflation, if they leave, you have 6 months to call another tenant and say, I have a building. It was remodeled for Subway. They've been paying and they're this and that. Are you interested? Yeah, I'd like to charge you 140,000 a year. At that time, it's acceptable. I bought properties I was renting for 3,500 many years ago. Today, they're making me 9,000. Why? It's been 20 years. So it just kept increasing. And the debt, many of them are paid off completely. So what happens here is it jumps in value. If they renew, if the same tenant renews and you charge them now on the renewal 135,000 a year, guess what? That's the third way to become even wealthier. First way is when you put a tenant more than you're paying for the building. Second is from the rent increases and the decrease of the debt. Third is when you renew the lease. And then fourth is when the renewal of the lease continue increasing and this gets completely paid off. So later, so many years later, you're married, you have kids, or you're free, you're not married. You have properties, you're traveling the world, or you're married and travel the world, or you're married and kids and don't go anywhere until the kids are ready to go to college. You can refinance, cash out money, send them to college. I mean, like, when you have money, you have choices. You have to be happy, you have to be healthy, and you have to be wealthy. And if you're gonna marry somebody, make sure that person is happy, they're healthy, and they have some ambitions, they're gonna be rich. I saw some videos about gold diggers. If you're not a gold digger, you're gonna lose. You gotta be. Anyway, all right, got too excited. All right, what other questions?
Another question is, what factors like market crash could be scary factors to shy you away from these big deals?
I love the question. That's why I get a corporate guarantee. That's why I deal with big companies. I had a company called Puma. You know Puma, Adidas and Puma? Puma Corporation. In 2009, the market crashed in the United States. Puma wanted to leave. To get out, their lease was $20,000 a month. It was at a location called 211 Cristo. You could see it on my website. They called me, but they had a corporate guarantee. They're publicly traded. They have to pay me to cancel the lease. So they had to pay me the balance of the lease. I made $1,057,000 for them to leave and went and bought another building better. Burberry, which is a company from England, they leased the space at 65 Fortaleza Street. You'll see it also on the website. It has 12 units upstairs and a big commercial space downstairs. And when they canceled because they wanted to expand in Asia, they said the United States was not moving as fast as China. And when they wanted to cancel, they paid me $1 million to leave. Corporate guarantee is for the downside. That's why you're doing this. And that's how it works. What other questions?
Are there any more questions? You're not going to get any better answers than now. It's not going to get any easier than this to put yourself out here. Good. Just put in the chat, leave the camera off if you're a little shy. That's not a problem, but it's not going to get any easier. And I really encourage everybody to participate and ask the question.
Yes. Somebody wanted to ask a question. Oh, I thought somebody was asking a question. So let me see here. So let me give you, if you want to reach us out, I don't know if you have that info, Hannah, or you put it somewhere. So the office, if you're interested in enrolling in this, I know maybe 5,000, a lot of money for you, but I can't do it for less because it takes a lot of my time and attention to work with the people. But for the, you can actually Email Ashley, my vice president, and the way you email her is Ashley, ASHLEE at CM, which is my name, Cherif Medawar, realestateinvesting.com, CMREI.com. So Ashley at CMREI.com, or you can call the office. I'm trying to find the office number because I never called off. Oh, I think she put it already.
Yeah, it's in the chat. We can see it here. It's the phone number and the email address.
Okay, very well, very well.
We got 2 more questions for you.
Yes,
Do you need to live near these properties?
No, but my suggestion is you want to get something within a 1 hour radius from where you are. And if that doesn't work, then expand it to 2 hours or whatever drive. Why? Because you're going to have to go physically to do the video of the location. And then you're going to load up that video on YouTube. There's a lot more little details on the training that I go step by step. I define all the words so you understand everything you're doing. I give you full comprehension. My trainings, I mean, look, I spent with you less than 35 minutes and you already have comprehension on how to make millions. Okay, I know how to train because I follow a process that the Department of Education told me this is the best way to train people, from understanding the words, to understanding the concept, to understanding the business model, the 1, 2, 3, 4, what to do, to taking action to succeed. So I suggest you start with maybe 1 hour drive of where you live or work or study, and then expand it as you look for deals. You can start looking online, even by zip code, and then expand from there. And that's the opportunity you have.
Okay, another question we have. What is the life advice you would give?
Life advice is be focused on 3 things like I mentioned earlier. Be happy. How do you stay happy and become even happier? Number 1, be ethical. Always do everything as if you're being filmed, audio taped. When you go to sleep at night, you have to be comfortable with yourself in front of God. Okay? Be ethical. Number 2, have positive relationships with people. More positive than negative relationship. That makes you feel better about living and about life and about the relationships you have. Number 3, have goals. Goals that inspire you and push you to grow and contribute. And number 4, put joy in what you do. Look enthusiastically at life. Whether you win or lose, don't lose your enthusiasm. Life is a game. That's the key to happiness. Number 2, be healthy. Health starts with good sleep. Sleep enough hours. Don't short your sleep. Don't think, oh, I can sleep later when I die. That's baloney. Sleep enough hours. That will give you the energy to exercise rigorously and be on top of your game to have the energy to function in life. And number 3, have a good diet. Be careful what you eat. Don't overeat. Take care of yourself. Diet is important. So sleep, exercise, eat well, and do the doctor checkups and follow-ups. Finally, have the wealth. How do you have wealth? You have the knowledge, take action, and network with the right people. You're in the university, network with your friends, network with the people out there. Tell them, I'm a student, I'm learning, can you help me? You can go to a broker and tell him you have a property under contract, can you help me? He's gonna tell you good luck and goodbye. I need to make money because I need to feed my family. Be realistic also. So wealth starts with knowledge, action, and networking. Next thing is you gotta find assets and you gotta wholesale them first, assign them. Find somebody like me to send the deals to so you can get paid for your work. Because in the beginning, all you have is your hard work and the knowledge you have and the time. So you gotta create time for that. Next thing is you gotta hold on to the assets for cash flow, because cash flow is your oxygen in the financial world. And the third thing, once you have that, you are rich. You now take care of paying down the debt, so you're never a slave to the debt. Health, wealth, and the peace of mind from happiness. I start with happiness because I've seen people that lost their health. They're dying on their deathbed, but they're happy. They raised their kids. They had done good with the world. And that's the message I give you about life. It's not all about money. It's not all about having joy and happiness. It's not all about health. It's the balance of the 3.
Thank you so much. That was very good. Next question. Have you experienced any red flags that caused you to walk away from a deal?
Yes, sometimes the property itself is in such a bad condition that when we actually talk to the tenant, they're excited. Usually the final step is they send somebody to take a look and do the measurements before they sign and they get in and commit to the lease. And one time we had a deal in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where, you know, I was doing it from a distance with the student, and when they came in, it didn't show in the video that we sent them, but the roof itself had caved in and part of it was broken. And the guy just sent me a picture. He said, I can see the sky from here. I can't buy this. And I said, oh my God, I can't fix this. It's going to be too expensive. So we had to go back to the seller and said, if you don't drop the price, we cannot do the deal because we have to fix the roof. And the seller said, no, I'm not dropping the price. So yeah, it does happen every now and then that you have all the pieces together, but something crazy happens. One more, for example, we had a deal did not have the drive-through, and the tenant, they were selling sandwiches and they wanted to drive through. But then what ended up happening is the tenant says, I will pay less until you put the actual drive-through, then we can pay you more. So we worked it out. We went to the city and got approval to build the drive-through and made it happen. So yes, life is a series of obstacles and problems that you solve or you avoid or you turn to your advantage. It depends on the problem, and it depends on you, your mentality, and your ability to actually communicate better, the training you have, and the creativity that you will acquire through the years.
Perfect. Yes, two more.
Sure.
If you have someone who would back you financially, how would you suggest repayment to them? Partial ownership, question mark?
Yes, I think in the beginning, don't be greedy. Tell them, I do these things. I know how to find the deals. Come in with me and let's partner up. I'll give you 50% of the deal. Now, they may be greedy and say, no, I'll give you just 10%. I'll give you 20%. I am not greedy to say, I'll just give you 10%. I have to put the money to buy it. I train people, I take the risk, etc. So start 10%. I had a guy who said to me, I'm not going to sign it to you. The tenant wants to buy it from me. He had it under contract for $900,000. The tenant came in and offered. He said, the tenant says, I don't want to rent, I want to buy it. So they assigned the deal at $950. So great. And he said, I ended up, by the time I paid closing costs and all this, I just made 5% only. I could have made 10% with you. I said, it's okay, but you learn. So in the beginning, just worry more about putting the pieces together and learning. And if somebody's going to give you the money, ask them how much, and then negotiate with them a little bit more for you so you can stay enthusiastic about it. And that's how you do it. But I would say from 5% to 50% is fair enough.
Okay, perfect. Danny has another question. When you have it under contract, do you have full access to the building to show others around the building?
You have full access to the building because by law, if I am selling a building to you, I have to give you access to do the due diligence. Due diligence, by definition, is a period during which you can inspect the building, you can see if you can get financing, you can see what you want to do with it, and I have to give you access. I may say, give me a notice 24 hours before you come in. I may say, you just let me know 2 days before, etc. But yes, you have full access. You can do a little video, you can do pictures, you can get people to take tour, etc. during that period.
Okay. I don't see any other questions. This is your chance, guys. Last chance. Anybody has a question? I've seen a bunch of links in the chat, so make sure to check that out. Make sure to reach out to Ashley. Take this opportunity. We got a few more minutes left. So
I have a question. How old are the students you have here approximately?
I think they're all range from 18 to probably 24, 25.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. It's I get so excited about what the future holds for you. I was lucky enough to start so early and meet the right person in my life by working hard in a hotel and going to UCLA. I was going to UCLA, and then I met a billionaire who actually changed my life. If you want to see his picture with me a lot younger, you can look it on LinkedIn. You can look under Cherif Medawar. You will see a billionaire in the name of Edmond Bissari. I'm standing in front of one of his castles. And he identified me. He said, man, you work so hard. Come and work for me. So the harder you work, the luckier you will be. I may be just that person who come and give you a little bridge between where you are and where you could be. The rest is up to you. So Ashley at cmrei.com, or you can call her 844-720-1031. Thank you, Hannah, for the opportunity to speak to your people. And thank you all. All the best to you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.